be here, stay here, no matter months, years, weeks, days. It doesn't matter. We're gonna be here till we get what we want as people.
We'll keep an eye on this demonstration, which so far.
Millions of young people grow up in the sunlight of opportunity. But that is another America. And this other America has a daily ugliness about it that transforms the buoyancy of hope into the fatigue of despair.
In October of 2011, the citizens of Philadelphia formed Tent City. They camped out on the steps of City Hall in order to protest the human and financial indifference plaguing the masses in our country. This was the protest against the unfair school loans, inequality of workers' compensation, the funding of prisons over schools, and most importantly, basic human rights.
I don't think it's an unreasonable expectation to have an education, to have a job, to have a house.
Not our people living like pigs. Good, rich land foul. Or maybe one guy with 1 million acres and 100,000 farmers starving. And I've been wondering if all our folks got together and yelled.
Oh, Tommy, they drive out and cut you down just like they done to Casey.
What do you stand for on your street? The question was asked to our parents, not to ask what our country can do for us, but what we can do for our country. That was then, this is now. We not only have to ask our country what it can do for us, we have to sleep on the doorsteps of City Hall.
There's a lot of injustice going on in the United States right now, and I think we need to change. I think that what needs to happen is we need to gather up a little more, and I think that this movement is really important to everybody because, as you see, there's a lot of homeless people walking around, not just in this state, but in all the states, and it's really hard for a lot of people to get jobs. It's really hard for people to eat. I mean, there's a lot of suffering going around, and somebody needs to care, and somebody needs to worry about that. So that's why I personally am traveling from occupy to occupy, from city to city, to spread the word and help as much as possible.
What makes you want to put your life on this movement?
What makes me put my life in this movement? Because I'm from Hartford. I'm originally from Hartford, and where I'm from, the homeless people, they turn into drug addicts, and they start getting psychological problems from the issues that they get from being out on the street and homeless. And I see what happens. I had a lot of friends die from that stuff, from drugs and from different various situations, from being homeless and from not being able to get a job. And I've seen people hustle to try to get a job and they can't get it. So that's why I'm personally involved in it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it.
Right now, I'm mad as all hell, man.
Now, the time will come when that sheet will be ripped off. If the federal government doesn't take it off, we'll take it off.
Has come purely upon the democratic and peaceful process that we've instituted, in combination with a very interesting perspective coming from the City Hall. I think they're learning from what happened in New York and Boston that mass support and only more people are going to come in light of a human rights abuse displayed by the police. So they're looking to resolve things as amiably as we allow it to happen. We don't obviously have people, gaggling around the streets trying to block up traffic and causing a ruckus. We have a very organized system where people are going back and forth, showing support on the streets. We have people, tenting peaceably here and being respectful of the land and the people that were here before us. So as long as we continue in this direction and we address any abuses of the space at large that we have until the 15th deadline, I think the city will be really willing and able to give us the extended deadline of indefinite occupation for somewhere if they do have to do construction. Now, we're not trying to jam up jobs, but we do want our point to be heard that we're here occupying in solidarity as a movement of people, not in the interest of what's best for City Hall or corporations. We want to get the point across, and as long as there's a democratic or tongue-in-cheek, on my part, I want to say that if we could stay here longer and jam up the process just to get things, established, that we really are not a mob mentality. We can coalesce coalesce on a common direction, even maybe protest building this for a little bit until we get our system in place with GAs, with ascertained spots to move to, and the help that we need to get there. If we can have a collaboration between City Hall on something like that where we can peaceably go somewhere new that everybody agrees upon, that's gold. That's really good news.
It's already happening. It's happening in 100 cities across the country. You don't think the politicians and the lobbyists and everybody else, the people in these financial buildings, aren't paying attention to this?
So for me, I think that the end result of this is getting that bridge between the poor and the rich, getting more things in place that, you know, when politicians make decisions, we can see it on an everyday level as normal people, like benefits at work. Like, for instance, the unliterate program is great. I really have a lot of respect for the city of Philadelphia. They're doing wonderful progressive things, and I have no problem with the green system that they're putting into place. If anything, we just need time to do and run our process to find a new place to not, you know, be a pain in their butts. So, you know, I think if we made a good pitch on reappropriating funds or changing something about what we're doing here, something maybe like public restrooms. That's been a major issue. Now, this is something that you may edit out or not. Okay, if you don't, you might really like this. I met a gentleman, Gary, who's been homeless here for a number of months. Gary is very, you know, very loud and animated, kind of, you know, big guy, and he was talking about alligators for no reason out of the clear blue sky. So I, having been in the Everglades for a while, hit home, just try to connect with this man and see what he had to offer. He showed me a portrait out front of the, not immediately in front of the art district area that we have set up here in Tent City, but a little bit out towards the south. And these are where, you know, the congregation of truly, you know, homeless, destitute people have been. I saw a woman wake up out of her sleep, lean over a concrete block that she was sleeping on, take a shit, wipe with her hand, and douse it with bleach. And that's because we don't have public access toilets here. We don't have toilets in place where we can run through a septic system. We have porta potties now because there are literally hundreds of people here. But if we were more focused on people at large that are in like public areas and accommodating people for the basic needs that we have, then we would have a much more sanitary environment in the city. Maybe the subways wouldn't smell like piss all the time here. And, you know, while that's kind of the allure of Philadelphia, people have been trying to change that for years. We really do want to have a clean and, you know, good environment all throughout our city out there. And I don't think anybody in the subway or homeless wants to pee somewhere that is public. I think that they would like to have the luxury of a restroom to wash up or whatever else. You know, basic human rights is what we need to fight for.
But what makes me want to get involved is that it's basically the way things are now. Need to change, man. They need to change. We need to let the government know that we want something different than what they're giving us. And the only way we're gonna do it is we're united, you know? So like, speak loudly, you know? Let them know. No violence, that sort of thing. Like, I believe that all of this is the will of the people, man. It's going on all over the country. It's going on in other countries.
You can see it's got life of its own right now at this point.
Yeah.
You know, it's just breathing by itself. You know, when I originally started this journey, I didn't really know much about it. But as I moved from city to city and get everybody's viewpoints on it, I realized that this thing really does have like a life of its own, and that it's not going to stop until things get different, until things change. So I feel the energy around this place. You know what I'm saying? And it's going around all around the United States, the world, everywhere. It's time for a change. It's time for us to unite as a people. That's how I really feel about it.
And these people here, all these people that you're gonna see on this on the news, all them, we're not hippies. We're not hippies. You know, I quit my job to go and start traveling and figure shit out. And all I gotta say is, these are nice people. These are good people. They're hardworking. They share what they got, you know, with us. Somebody gave me a blanket the other night for the night. You know, like, here it's cold. Like, you know, I'm sleeping on the stone steps over here.
Well, let me ask you the same question then. What makes you want to put your life on this movement? Like, what makes you feel so strongly that you got to put your life on it?
It's the only way you're ever going to accomplish anything, is if you stand up for what you believe in. Never back down, you know? Just do your things. Do your thing, you know? Stand up for what you believe in, you'll never be wrong.
What do you think is the great wrong that everybody in Occupy Philly and Occupy New York and across the country is fighting?
The fact that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Simply put, like, I had to fight for my job that I quit to come out here, you know? And I know other people don't have a job, you know? And I've never been homeless. I've never, you know, never done this before, you know, never bounced from spot to spot, none of that. So I want to know what it's like. I want to feel what these other people are feeling. You know, I haven't had a shower in days. I feel grimy. I just want one. I want a warm place to sleep. I want a hot meal. But you know what? So many other people don't have that. You know? Why should I be any different? They're people too.
There is no future without a family. And as we watch this little girl play in her innocence, we have to wonder, what type of world are we really creating for our future? Is this beyond fair?